Okay, we're going to make things a little harder. This time our coefficient for our x squared term is going to be greater than 1. Or the absolute value will be. So remember that our quadratic standard form of the equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equals y. Now we're just doing the expressions here, so we're not solving right now. We will later. The way that you do this, now, with prime numbers, you don't have too much to worry about. Guys, quiet down. There's only one way to get 2x squared. Remember, we're unfoiling, right? So, the only way to get 2x squared is 2x times x. Okay. Now, we have a minus sign, so that means that we're going to be subtracting our factors of 28. Remember, positive times a negative equals a negative product. A positive factor times a positive factor equals a positive product. And a negative times a negative factor equals a positive product. Now we have a product here of negative 28. So I'm looking at a positive times negative. But because our a here is 2, and it's not 1, we don't know if we need a plus sign here or a plus sign here. So we're either going to have a plus minus here or a minus plus here. So this is a little tough. We're going to have to do some figuring. Hopefully we can, get it close enough to where we can finally get the answer. Let's look at the factors of 28. I have 1 times 28, 2 times 14, and 4 times 7. Now, because I got opposite signs here, that means my outer one, remember we're unfoiling, so the first one we got 2x squared, outer, inner, and then last. Our last we have the sign of negative, so we're good there. We're going to, because we have opposite signs, we're going to be subtracting our factors of that product of negative 28. All right. And one of them is going to be multiplied by 2. So let's try 4 and 7. Okay, if I have a negative 7, that means if I use the negative, the plus and the minus, that means negative 7 times 2x gives me negative 14x. And positive 4 times x is positive 4x. If I add those together, that gives me negative 10x, not positive 1x. So we know that it's not 4 and 7. Well, let's try one more thing. Okay, so we tried the positive, negative. Let's try the negative, positive. And this is the way you guys are going to have to do it. It's a guess and check method. Okay, 7 times 2x, positive 7 is a positive 14x. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. And that gives us positive 10x. So we know it's not 4 and 7. Okay, let's try 7 and 4. Okay, negative 7x, and positive 8x, negative 7x plus 8x is positive 1x. That's what we want. Okay, so that's our factors. 2x minus 7 and x plus 4. Yeah, these are difficult. These are not easy. Okay, number 3. That's 6x squared plus 11x plus 3. Okay, first of all, my C is going to be positive 3. My A is 6. My B is 11. Okay, there's only one way to get 3. So I'm looking at the C. It's going to be 3 times 1. Gentlemen, quiet down. Now, the product is a positive. They have to add up to a positive. So the product has to be one of these two situations here. And because we're adding to a positive, it has to be a positive times a positive. It has to be positive times positive. Now, 6x squared, 6, has a couple of different factors. I can either do 1 times 6 or 2 times 3. This time I don't have to worry about the signs. I've got the signs there. So we know we have an x here. We know we have an x here. Let's try 2 times 3. Okay. Outer, 2x. Inner is 9x. 9x plus 2x is 11x. So I got it right off the bat. All right, let's do number 2. Okay, 5 is a prime number. There's only one way I can get 5. 5x times x. It's the only way to get 5x squared. Again, I have a product that's positive. It has to add up to a positive. So it has to be positive times positive. Positive times positive. Now, 26. Factors of 26. I have 1 times 26. 2 times 13. I think that's it. Okay. My outer, my inner. Let's try 2 and 13 are probably going to work because 2 times 5 is 10 plus 13 is 23. So let's put the 2 here in the 13 here. So 2 times 5x, 5x, 10x. 13 times x, 13x. If I add those together, I get my 23x, which is what we want. So that's my answer. is, it just gives you the steps right here. Okay, slide the leading coefficient over and under the constant, multiply the two together. So, for example, 2x squared minus 5x plus 2, you slide, I guess they call it, the coefficient under the constant, and you multiply the two together. Then you can easily factor when a equals 1, because we've done many of those, and a lot of you can do it. And then, since you slid that 2, then we have to divide each one of those, the 4 and the 1, by that coefficient that we slid over. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 1 divided by 2 is 1/2. If they don't cancel out, you slide that 2 back in front of the x, and your final answer is x minus 2 times 2x minus 1. Let's try it. I know, but that's why I teach, we teach it this way first. If you can do it this way, great, because it's less confusing. It's easier to me. I think it's easier, but some students have trouble just doing it this way. Let's just do another method, okay? Now, step 1. We're going to take that leading coefficient 6, slide it underneath the 1, and multiply it to c. Okay? So we get n squared minus 5n, 1 times 6 is 6. Now we should easily be able to factor this, right? This is easy to factor. N times n, we have a plus and a minus, so this is minus minus. 2 and 3, 2 times 3 is 6. Negative 2 plus negative 3 is negative 5. Now, step 3. Since we slid the 6 over, we have to divide by that 6. Okay? Divide by 6. Divide by 6. Okay, 2 divided by 6, well, it doesn't divide easily, but you can make this a simplify this fraction, right? 2 6 is what? 1/3. So we have n minus 1/3 and n minus what's 3/6? 1/2, right? Then it says, well, if you get a fraction, slide that in front of the variable. So we end up with 3n minus 1 times 2n minus 1. So it looks complicated. It really isn't when you're doing it. Sometimes it's easier doing it this than trying to figure out guess and check method. This is called slide and divide. Should we do a couple more slide and divides? Okay, number 6. We'll do slide and divide. Take the coefficient, slide it, multiply it to c, so 2 times 7. I get x squared plus 8x. 2 times positive 2 times 7, positive 7 is positive 14. This should be easy to factor since a is 1. Positive, positive, so these are positive. See, how about 7 and 2? 1 and 14. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Does this factor? Let's change this to 9x. Okay, that way it factors to 2 and 7. They're factors of 14, and they add up to 9. I got a feeling that's a typo. Okay, now we have to divide by 7. Okay, 2/7. It does not simplify, so we're going to slide that in front of the x. So we get 7x plus 2. And here, 7 over 7 is 1. Make sense? Get in there? Okay, let's keep going. A lot of practice. Okay, number 5. Okay, I'm going to slide the 10 coefficient, multiply it to c. That leaves me with n squared minus 19n plus 60. Okay, we should be able to factor this. Okay, positive, negative. So positive, so we need to do the negative times negative. Now, factors of 60. Now we're going to be adding them because of the same sign. So I have 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15. There's our 19. Okay, so 4 and 15. Now we divide by 10. Okay, let's simplify or reduce. Let's just reduce. 10, let's see, 4/10, 2/5, 15/10 is 3/2. See, they don't divide evenly, so they go in front of the n. So I get 5n minus 2 and 2n minus 3. Okay, which way do you like better? Slide and divide or guess and check? I think so too. Yep. Guess there's some kind of strategy to go. This, you have to, the guess and check you have to do all in your head. Yes. Yeah, if you're doing the guess and check method, yeah. Which is what you're kind of doing when a equals 1 here. You're kind of doing the guess and check. But it's just easier because it's a equal. Can you do a couple more? Okay. All right. Let's see. We're gonna slide the a to the c, multiply it. So I get x squared minus 19x plus 18. Factor this. This is where you use the guess and check. X times x. This is a positive product. So they have to add to a negative. So negative times negative is positive. They add to 19. Oh, this is 18 and 1. Then we have to divide by 9. Since we multiply by 9, we have to divide by 9. So I get x, 18 divided by 9 is 2. This one doesn't divide evenly, so we have to slide that 9 in front of the x. So I get 9x minus 1. Is that what you got? I should give you some more practice problems.